Hi y'all, it's time to put some of those summer and spring clearance items to work for Halloween. So if y'all watched that video, I picked these up from the Michael's spring clearance. They were 70 or 80% off. And even though I am going to repurpose them for Halloween right now, I'm not going to paint these black because I want to be able to use them for other holidays. I have just as many decorations for like springtime as I do for Halloween and Christmas. So I love Easter stuff. And because of that, I'm going to keep these, probably put birds and pretty flowers in them for that. I bought these because of the hangers. Because one day what I see is them hanging over my witches and having a larger crow in there, and then maybe some frogs and bugs. But for right now, I do not have a place to do that. So I'm just going to decorate them for where they can be placed somewhere just as decoration till the day comes that I can hang them. For one of them, I'm going to put in like a little graveyard scene. So I picked this up at Michael's. And this was $9.99, and then they have everything 30% off already. Plus I got vouchers because I buy a ton at Michael's. This was at Michael's too. Let's see, these are only $1.99, and then it was 30% off, so $1.40. And then this crow, and this crow was $9.99, so with the 30% off was $7. This crow, which makes no sense to me, is this one is Ashland. It's beautiful. It's got all these pretty feathers and all that. And then they got some smaller ones by Ashland. They're the same price, and they're like hard, no fluffiness, and they're smaller. So whoever at Ashland figures that stuff out, it makes no sense that this is $10, and then that same one like this big is $10. That one should be like $5.99. Not that y'all are listening to my 2 cents, but as a person that buys a lot of your products, I just didn't get that. Now, I've also grabbed some of my moss to put in either one of these. So I have all these different bags of moss. This is just moss I've picked up over time, and I reuse it. So that's why it doesn't look so pretty. I reuse it for a lot of different projects. It just is fillers. And then I have my huge box. If y'all watch my... It would have been 2019 Halloween videos. I bought this tons of fall foliage from one of the grocery stores here, which is Fry's over here in Arizona, but it's Kroger everywhere else. But that, they were renovating and clearing out a bunch of their floral departments, so I got some huge scores there. Now, whenever you're trying to fill these kind of things, or cloches, like I think that's what they're called, cloches, the ones that are glass. The only thing that you really need to watch out for is just to watch your scale. You don't want something too small, so getting like the little characters that are by the Lamax stuff, which is the Halloween Village at Michael's, or any of the other little villages. If you get stuff like that, when you have something on this scale, they're going to be too small. They're going to be like this big, and they're going to be drowned in this size. So when you're looking to fill anything, whether it's lantern or cloches or even some of the big apothecary jars you can get, you want to get something that's maybe a half, maybe even 3/4 of the way up. So that's why I picked this tombstone. So we've got a few different tombstones, but this one, we're looking right at about half of the size. And then when I was looking at something to pair with this, I was interested in something that was similar. So like bones, something with graves, and they had some coffins at Michael's too. But the coffins were larger than what this tombstone is, and if you're thinking of scale, as far as standing up by it, it didn't look very good. Now, if it was a smaller coffin, it was going to lay to the side of it, maybe. And they also have some really pretty skulls with flowers and spiders or snakes and dragons around them. And I considered those too, but again, they were almost as big as the tombstone. So as far as size, I chose this because it's about half the size of the tombstones. They fit really nicely together. And all I have to do is just pull this little thing off here. And I have different ways I can position it. It could be in front or to the side. I could even maybe glue him on so that he's a little bit higher, leaned on there at an angle. And then for the crow, now I knew the crow's feathers were going to be a little bit long for this gauge, and actually in a size comparison, it's not going to be too bad. So I figured I could either maybe trim these up or just have them poking through. It's a really good quality crow and really like it, so I think I might trim it, but I'm probably not going to bend anything back. Now with the crow, I also think that's going to be, you know, it's the crow's just by itself, so it's probably going to look a little lonely. So I may pull out some of my foliage and or maybe some pumpkins, or who knows. I've got all kinds of little Halloween stuff that I grab, and some I have used and some I haven't used. Y'all know how it is, you hit clearance. So I probably have stuff in bins I don't even remember I have. Now for this first one, I'm going to go ahead and start with this one. And these open. Supposed to. And they tilt back. Now here's another thing you got to watch. If you get this kind and not the glass kind that lifts up, you got to kind of figure out when this closes is going to hit any of your stuff. So be mindful of that. So for this one, it's going to be my little tombstone and my skull. So pull that out of there. Put that like that. Okay. And let me take a look myself, see how I like it. Yeah, so not bad at all. But of course, it's gray and boring. So, got to add some moss. Moss gets messy, by the way, if you haven't dealt with it. But it just looks really nice and just gives a more natural look to things. So I'll put a little moss up front, a little more for the back. And I'm going to take my little hand broom later and fix all this up. And then I'll clear a little spot out so that my tombstone fits in there nicely and sits flush. I'll gather some moss. Ooh. And then I'll put my little skull back in. And need to move some moss around him too. Alright. And then I'm going to close up my little cloche. See what I was talking about? Got to bend this in here. Close it up. Fit it in. Sneak a peek. Oh, my little skull's got to turn some more, huh? Ooh. This little latch is trying my patience today. Anyways, voila, one down. So that took, this is live, so all of maybe 5 minutes. And you can add in some sticks and you can do some more moss. Like now that this is kind of pushed down, I'll probably make a few adjustments, push the moss down a little bit more before I display it. And let me force this. My little latch is bent, that's why it's giving me trouble. There we go. Alright, so number 1. Number 2, place my crow in here. Beautiful crow. And probably have to mush the little feathers in here. Alright, so my crow is going to go like that. Bend his feathers a little bit. And I'm going to add some leaves in. And I've got leaves of a few different colors with all the different garlands that I had. And then I'll put this back in here. I'm going to have to really fill this. So for that, I will be back. Now, as I was layering the crow in, I actually figured it'd be a little bit better to have it lifted up. So I took one of my little foam craft pieces that I reused, and it already had this little loopy wire. So I took my craft pins and just pinned it down and carved myself out a little wedge. That way it can sit up some, and then I'll build the leaves and some moss around it. So I just wanted to interject before y'all think I cheated somewhere. So I'll be back again. Alright, so I got the crow in, and what I did for the floral foam to hide it a little bit is I did some more moss. It also ties these two together a little bit more. And then I added in the leaves. Now, because this one is on a hinge and I do have to worry about everything shifting on me when I move it back, is I put the crow in, got him set, and went ahead and closed it most of the way, and then I fed the leaves all around it. And that way I could just push them in and put it down without too much movement. That's what I did because this is going to be temporary. I bought this particular design thing so that I could use it throughout the year for different holidays, not just Halloween specific. And the glass ones are okay. The glass ones to me more look like Christmassy. So with this, I use the fall colors instead of black, but of course you can use black. I think it'd be really pretty with some black and burgundies or purples mixed in. And these two guys will go together. Probably gonna put them in the kitchen. I'll show y'all how that looks. And I also can't stress enough with these types of things, instead of getting the glass, if you use these could be used year round. So if you want to just use it for Halloween, that's fine. You could use some glue and glue everything down, and you wouldn't have to worry about tucking up your leaves and whatnot. But if you get something like this and you can use it year round, it's really great. One, to save your money. Two, if you don't have a lot of space to put things, and just helps you out with storage. With these, I can use them now for, Halloween. For Thanksgiving, I could switch out and put some gourds, maybe some little woodland critters in there. And then for Christmas, I could again switch it out and put some really pretty different floral arrangements, or again, maybe some of my white owls, because I really like decorating with the owls. And then for Easter, again, you put bunnies, you got different really pretty spring florals you can put in. And for the rest of the year, they can go outside. They can go as a centerpiece or somewhere in your house with maybe some candles in them. So lots of versatility. And if you've looked at some of the things I've shown you all in the past, I do try to show things you can use again and again and again for that purpose. I hope y'all enjoyed today's project. I've got a lot for y'all. Apologize, last year was busy. We're moving out of our house. I had surgery. It was crazy. But I've got projects for y'all pretty consistently. If you do like what you're seeing, subscribe, like, comment. A lot of people like throughout the video to be like, if you like this project, comment. If you liked how I did the tombstone, comment. And that's because, YouTube likes to see comments and little ring bells and likes and all that stuff. More of that you have, the more they share your stuff with other people. So if you want to do that, do it. But I'm just not going to be in my videos saying like this and comment that every 5 minutes to build an algorithm. That's just not me. I'm going to share what I share all the time. But, if you do that kind of stuff, it helps other people see it. So again, see y'all soon. Happy Halloween hunting.